Today you are going to read a story about life without, can you guess? Life without gravity. Think about how crazy that would be for a second. And while we read today, we are going to actually focus on the skill of reading, and we are going to practice skimming and what we look for, and then we're going to read it one more time and read it very, very closely. And with our partners, we're going to write down a few things that we look for when we read closely. And then lastly, we are going to scan. And as a class, we're going to talk about the difference between skimming and scanning. They seem very, very similar. You can see that some of the things that we will look for, let me shrink this out of the way, will be topic sentences and repeated words when we are skimming. When we are reading closely, we're going to look for key points and main ideas and details that support that. So we're really going to look closely at the text. And when we're scanning, I'm going to give you something very particular to look for and see if you can find it along with the page number. Here is another sample of a page I just pulled right out of Dropbox, and this was a diary rubric that the students created, but they weren't really sure how to fill it out, so I had to show them what I was thinking when I made this. If they got a 4 in understanding of character, they would have 9 points, and maybe their entry on theme was clear, but it could have used a little more detail, and so then they would have 8 points. They would have graded themselves. And maybe in their entries they used voice most of the time. They were in the character's voice, but not all of the time. So they would give themselves 8 points. And they had a slightly incomplete diary. Instead of having 6 complete entries, they forgot to do the last one, as sometimes happens. So they had 7 points. And then they showed very, very clear attention to detail. This looks like a diary that could have been from the 1930s. And so they got another 9 points. And then they simply have to add them up and then give an overall total here. Of course, I may or may not agree with that total, but that just gives them an idea of what I am looking for. Here you can see that I was able to grab another handout that was on the third slide. I was able to copy and paste it here, and I can shrink and expand things, although it might make students a little seasick. But I was able to copy it from another slide and bring it over here, and I can put as many things as I would like on the slide. And I was actually able to go into this time and reset it because I had pushed my off button, and I could go in and pick the exact place where I messed up, and I could go and re-record my voice. Here is one of the entries of the diary, and I just wanted to show you that you could pull it up and discuss it with students. Again, I pulled it directly out of Dropbox. I wanted to copy this to the previous slide, and that's what I was trying to do. And I got it to copy, and then I wasn't quite sure how to get it to paste. But the neat thing is you can go into each slide and reset your recording back to 0 and try again.